Hey everybody, thanks for dropping by. This is Huben 3D Parts with our Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit installation for your Huben GK1. So what we'll do here today is just take a look at the Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit itself, walk through a quick installation, and that should do it. So let me shuffle a couple things out of the way here real quick. So when you order the Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit from Huben 3D Parts, first off, let me say this is not a 3D printed item. So this is 100% CNC aluminum. It is anodized. So this is the main portion of the kit. So this is the top of the chassis. As you can see, we have a full-length Picatinny rail. We also have got some M-LOK compatible slots along the side. Second major component is the handguard piece, or this is the piece that goes around the bottom of the air tube. You can see here we also have a full-length Picatinny rail across the bottom of that guy. You will receive this, which is the rear Picatinny mount. So if you've got a minimalist stock or like a folding buffer tube stock that you want to use, that will pair nicely with this. We also have a partnership with Buckrail, and so for an add-on, you can purchase a folder, and we'll also include an AR style stock with that. And then the last two pieces are the mounting brackets right here. So these clamp onto the dovetail on your Huben GK1. Additionally, you'll receive 6 M3 countersunk screws. There will also be 4 M4 countersunk screws, and then finally 2 M5 countersunk screws. Now on the mounting brackets, these are M4 cap head screws, and you'll receive 4 of those guys. So let me just make a little room here. All right, gonna grab our bench GK1. Now, as always, before you do any work on air guns, make sure they're unloaded, make sure they're safe, XYZ, so always safe handling. So the first thing we'll do here is place the front mounting bracket. So this goes on the dovetail itself. For this, you'll need a 3mm Allen key. Now, I'm just gonna snug this up. So it's not really gonna move, but I've got some wiggle room in it. And then I'm gonna grab the second bracket, and let's get that snug down as well. As we go through installation, you'll find that I have a tendency to just snug things up, and then I will go through once everything's fit together, and you'll give it a final, snug down or torque down. So what I like to do at this stage is grab my GK1. I like to hold up the front of the top chassis and line that up with the front of the barrel cover here. And then I can see and approximate where I've got to place that first mounting bracket. And then I also like to do the same for the rear. So it just makes it a little bit easier to get things centered. And once you have those centered, place the top portion of the chassis on top of your GK1. And as you can see here, I did a pretty good job of getting those guys lined up. So what I'd like to do next is, before I tighten down the actual mounting brackets, I like to grab one of my M5 countersunk screws. You'll need that same 3mm hex key for this. And I like to snug these down to finger tight. And then if you have any issue lining these up with the slots on the side, you can push this rear mounting bracket forward and aft. And then once you've got that lined up, grab your second M5 countersunk screw. And I'm just gonna finger tight that guy down there. So now that we have everything lined up here, one important thing to note with installation is you do not want to install this slid forward. What you're looking for is to have the front of the chassis, or this top rail portion, lined up with the front of your barrel cover on your GK1. Now that should line up so it's flush or slightly behind. This kit is manufactured and designed so it can rest very gently against the front of the magazine cover on your Huben GK1. And this way, when you affix, say, I'll just say a sound moderation device, you won't have any rubbing on the front of your chassis there. So it's just will allow the barrel cover to slightly stick out the front, so that way you avoid any rubbing on anything you are to affix to the front of your GK1. So once I've got that placed correctly, grab my 3mm, and we will give those mounting brackets a snug down here. So grab the rear ones. Excellent. Once those are secure, just go back to the top and give those M5 countersunk screws a snug down as well. So that is step one of mounting the Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit. Second piece I like to do is grab the handguard or air tube portion. And you can see here we've got some holes, and those line up with the holes on the handguard as well. So we will slide this over the top of the top chassis, and you can see we've got those holes lined up. Now, what I like to do here is just get these started. So just get these little M3 countersunk screws started. There. Oh, I'm a little misaligned, so I've got to adjust this here. There we go. And again, make sure the holes line up. And I just put these in just finger tight. So I don't snug these all the way down yet. Because what I like to do next is flip this over and make sure the holes are lined up on the other side here. We'll grab our other 3 remaining M3 countersunk screws, and we will get these started and threaded as well. Now, once you start to get this side threaded, you can go ahead and torque these down. So I'm going to give these a final snug down, and I just go finger tight so they're tight. Flip this over. Let's snug these 3 guys down here. So 1 and 2 and 3. All right, and now we have the handguard portion attached. So pretty simple installation so far. The last step in installing the Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit is grab that rear Picatinny piece, and this just kind of slides right up into the rear of the chassis. So I like to line these holes up, and kind of the same premise as installing the lower handguard portion. What you want to do is just get these threaded, and for this you'll need a 2.5 millimeter Allen or hex key. And so I've got those started. I like to then flip the chassis over, and then what you'll see me do is I kind of push up with my thumb just to make sure this rear Picatinny portion is seated. Grab my 2.5 millimeter Allen again and get these M4 countersunk screws seated. So now on this side, go ahead, give these a final finger tight torque down here. And then we'll flip this guy over again and tighten this down as well. And one last screw. All right, we're done there. So this is your fully installed Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit from Huben GK, or for your Huben GK1 from Huben 3D Parts. So again, full-length Picatinny rail, M-LOK compatible slots on the side, full-length Picatinny on the bottom, plenty of room if you want to affix, a muzzle device there. And then, of course, if you've got a minimalist stock or buffer tube or folding buffer tube adapter here, you can attach that to the rear Picatinny. Now, if you don't have a folding stock, again, like I mentioned earlier, we've got a great partnership with Buckrail. They manufacture a really great, folding buffer tube adapter. And so let me actually get this installed here. So I'm going to flip this over, take this screw out here. Let's get this attached so you can all see what this looks like. Make sure I've got this the right way. All right, and then like I said, if you do order this, folding buffer tube, from us, we will include an AR style stock. So let me just grab one of the ones I have laying around here. All right, so there we go. This is your fully installed Mini-Carbine Backpacker Kit for your Huben GK1 from Huben 3D Parts. Now, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. As always, you can reach out to Huben3dparts@gmail.com. Other than that, thanks for stopping by.